Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right. What's going on? How you doing? Good to have you in the house. Indeed. Pleasure to have you here. Indeed. Who else we got in the house? Any more visitors? I think you're not a visitor. All those beautiful things to see you here, to have you here. But yeah, all praise be to the Most High. Good to have you here, brother. All right, let's get into it. The title of today's lesson. Bear with me, I kind of seem to be losing my voice for some reason. But it's going to be all right. The title of today's lesson, Summertime. The heart of the harvest season. Summertime. It is said to be the heart of the harvest season. So let's get into it. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. Let's start at verse 1. We're going to read. Every purpose, right? Go ahead, verse 2.
A time to be born.
Uh-huh.
And a time to die.
Go ahead.
A time to plant.
Uh-huh.
And a time to pluck up that which is planted.
So that's a literal thing. A lot of times when we read that scripture, we just think it's just giving, all these different examples. Oh, it's a time for this, a time for that, a time for this, a time for that. But it says a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. There's literally a time to plant, and then also a time to pluck up that which is planted. When you pluck up something that's been planted, what do you call that? Okay. So we familiar. Makes sense, right? So go from there. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha. Let's get chapter 39. And let's get verse 33 through 35.
The book of Sirach, all be well approved.
I like the summertime better than the winter. I wish it was summertime all the time. But what would happen if it was always summer? We'd have a lot of problems. Because winter has its purpose, exactly. Read.
And therefore praise ye the Lord with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the name of the Lord.
That's heavy right there. Therefore, and therefore, meaning what? Because remember, above that was 34. So that a man cannot say this is worse than that, for in time they shall all be well approved. Boy, you be like, man, I can't wait till this day is over with. I can't wait till this year is over with. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for that. But he said, man, be careful about that, man. Embrace what you got for the moment. There's a reason for you going through what you're going through. And therefore, praise ye the Lord with the whole heart, with your whole mind and mouth, and bless the name of the Lord. Go from there. Go back to Ecclesiastes, but let's go to chapter 1. See, a lot of times, it's crazy because we don't understand the significance of the seasons. So we take the seasons for granted. A lot of times we're not operating the way that the Most High would have us to operate in that season. So we don't get all that we would have coming to us if we only understood the things that we needed to do in that season. Go ahead, let's read that. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, let's read 4 through 7. Listen closely.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, and verse 4, and it reads, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
But the earth abideth forever. Earth is still here, it's going to be here. Go ahead.
The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose.
Hasteth to his place because it's a circuit. You're going to also learn that's a very, very important thing. A circuit. Most High likes to create a lot of things in circuits. Even time. People think of time as linear, like it's from point A to point B and that's it. But they never consider that maybe it's a circuit. And we know it's a circuit by a lot of the things that the scriptures gives us. It says that, as a matter of fact, hold on, I'm going to show you something. Hold that, we're going to come right back to that. Stay in Ecclesiastes, but go to chapter 3 and verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been,
So hold on, let's take our time with that. That which have been is what?
is now.
So hold on. He said that which have been, things that happened in the past are what?
Is now.
Is now. What do you take from that? Then he says, and that which is to be have what?
Already been.
Have all. So then the things that are in the future have already been. They've already happened. Go ahead.
And God requireth.
Hold on. The word requireth. What does the word requireth mean? Require. Huh? Yeah, he demands that. That's something. Look, he requireth what?
And God requireth that which is past.
Because a lot of times what we'll do, unfortunately, because we're not taught any better or we're miseducated and misinformed, and we want to forget about the past. A lot of times we want everybody around us to forget about the past. But the Most High says the contrary. He says, you gotta know what happened in your past. It's a circuit. It's a circuit. The things are happening. He likes to create circuits. A lot of things are just like this. Let's go back to chapter 1. And a lot of the things, if you're trying to get some understanding, you begin to get a better understanding when you realize how the Most High creates, because he's got some continuity in his creation. Watch this, read. Start back from 4.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. But the earth abideth forever.
The earth abideth forever. Read.
The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose.
That sun is, guess what? It's a circuit going on. Same thing day after day after day. It doesn't deviate. It doesn't do something different. Same circuit. Read.
The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuit.
Because when you realize, because a lot of us, we didn't even realize that there was not this state of randomness with wind and even with water. There's a circuit that the Most High created. Not only with the wind, but with the waters. There's a circuit. Read.
All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again.
So there's a circuit. There's a circuit. That's how he likes to create. Makes sense, right? Okay. So now, how much guesswork do we really need to do in terms of figuring out what it is that we need to do and what we need to be focused on and what we need to become? Think about that. What kind of excuse are we going to have when we reach them gates and it wasn't a mission accomplished? We didn't do. You think he going to want to hear that? Think about it. Wisdom of Solomon. Why is it that we always seemingly want to deviate from the simplicity of what the Most High created for us to do and created for us to be? Why you want to jump outside the circuit? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I wanted to go 15 through 19.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, and verse 15. God hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise.
Hold on. God hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. Pay attention, read.
For in his hand are both we and our words.
In his hands are both we and our words. Because a lot of times we think that we're moving independently. We gonna do what we want to do, and you don't have as much control as you think you got. Even though you're allowed to deviate from the game plan, you're still within the circuit. Ain't that crazy? A lot of times you think you speaking your words, like you gonna do your own thing. You got your own program that you making as you go. I'm figuring the world out. You know how many times the same world that you trying to figure out done been figured out and documented? What's so special about you to make you think that you're going to go and figure something out that's already been figured out how many times before you and documented? That's the problem with Israel. We don't stick to the script. Just stick to the script and do your part. You feel like I got something different. It's new. I'm working on it. Hold on. Just give me a minute. Go ahead, read.
It reads, For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship.
All of that, he got control over all of that. He's creating all of that. We sit up here, we give ourselves a little bit too much credit. Read.
For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made.
How the world was made. Now hold on. He's telling you something very important. What I just said a minute ago is telling you right here in this book. Read it one more time.
For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made.
Hold on. So when we trying to figure out things about the world, he said, look, I done already figured it out for you. The Most High gave it to me, and I wrote it down for you. We still don't trust it. I don't know. Think you're reading that wrong. Read.
How the world was made and the operation of the elements.
The operation of the elements. He said, he told me how this all worked. And I'm going to share it with you. Read.
The beginning, ending, and midst of the times. The alterations of the turning of the sun.
What is he talking about when he says the alterations of the turning of the sun? One of the most important things in regards to the alteration of the turning of the sun is speaking of what? The same reason why you would even call this summer. There's an event that took place in order for it to be declared to be summer. And what was that? Summer solstice. We had the summer solstice when, supposedly? And that summer solstice resulted in what? The longest day, meaning daytime, right? And the shortest what? Shortest night. All right. Okay. Somebody done did a little bit of research. That's the beginning of summer, right? So you got a tilt. What kind of tilt you got? Yeah, what kind of tilt you? It makes sense when you see it. It makes sense when you see it. You never noticed, have you ever looked in the sky? Have you ever seen where the sun is like right here? Have you seen where the sun is over here? What do you think that is? She said, nobody knows what that is. It has something to do with the circuit for sure. So, you got this big old sun supposedly, right? Big old sun, right? You got these small planets, right? All right. So, you got some kind of tilt happening because it's saying in the scripture. Read it one more time. Verse 18.
Verse 18, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun.
The alterations of the turning of the sun. Read.
And the change of
And
seasons.
the change of seasons. Go ahead.
The circuits of years and the positions of the stars.
So the circuits of years and the what?
And the position of stars.
Circuits of years and the positions of stars. So here you go. We got time going, but we got the same motion happening. Same motion. You got circuits within circuits within circuits. That's the thing that's so crazy. You got circuits within. People try to say, nah. But I mean, why would it be any different from what the scriptures say? Circuit within circuit. Starts making sense and start lining up. Go from there. Go to the book of Genesis chapter 8. When we start understanding the continuity in the Most High's creation, a lot of things will start making more sense to us. A lot of things will make more sense to us, man. It's crazy because we be trying to figure out what's next, but refuse to go and read what happened in the past. Refuse to revisit the past. Genesis chapter 8, verse 22.
The book of Genesis, chapter 8, and verse 22.
Listen up.
While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
So now mind you, it says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Shall not cease. The seasons will always remain. Don't think that the seasons are happening and just going by and there's nothing to it, that there's nothing from you to get from it. Don't think that. Why would your enemy get you so relaxed during the summertime? Why would the enemy tell you to relax and give you, in school, the kids, that's the time where you, summer vacation, you don't really do anything really progressive during the summertime. Vacate. Vacation, the key word is vacate in vacation. What does vacate mean? So what you escaping from? Why are you leaving home empty? Why are you trying to get away? But why? Think about it. Why? Why is it promoted for us to do that? Okay. Okay. You jumping ahead, don't jump too far ahead, man. You wasn't supposed to. Ecclesiastes, go to Ecclesiastes 51. Ecclesiastes 51, and let's get 23 through 30.
The book of Sirach, chapter 51, and verse 23. Draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning.
Hold on. He said, draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning. Dwell in the house of learning. Dwell in the house of learning. It's crazy because that'd be the last place a lot of our people want to be. And they taught you, oh, this is the time to vacate school. This is the time to vacate learning. Go get you a break. The whole rest of the year, you spend all of that time becoming the best you could be, learning all the things that they would have you to learn. When did you ever learn any of the skills that you needed as an adult? Did you learn about your taxes and your finances and your formal education in school? Why? Did you learn about your ancestry and your history in school? Did anybody tell you about the prophecies of what's promised to you in school? So what did you learn? Watch this, and this is what's gonna really mess you up. How many hours did you spend in those years in school? Huh? And what did you get from it? They couldn't even promise you for all them hours that you spent and all those things that they would have you to learn. They couldn't even promise you a job. How many of y'all think like you came up? You came up. What does that mean? Like, oh yeah. What is it? Was it to come up? Did they feed you the way you learned that you probably should be feeding yourself? Was they giving you that fire food that was gonna really feed you and keep you healthy? Or was they giving you that county special? How many of y'all would be okay with adapting that diet on an everyday basis? So what did you get from it? I'm just asking, what did you get from it? Think about it. I say it a lot of times. Y'all probably think I'm full of doo-doo. What did you get from it? Huh? You got social skills. Some of y'all was a mess. High school and out of high school. How many of y'all was doing crime? Some of y'all want to raise your hands. You was doing crime. You learned to be the best criminal you could be in school. And your network that you got with was who helped you be the best you could be. That's what school did for you. I'm just saying, man, sometimes we just got to deal with it. Scripture say, draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning. Go ahead. 24.
Verse 24. Wherefore are ye slow? And what say ye of these things, seeing your souls are very thirsty?
Go ahead.
I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money. Put your neck under the yoke, and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find.
Hold on. Put your neck under the yoke, and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find. You see schools all over the place. It wasn't hard to find a school to go to. But it says, man, she is hard to find. Who is the she? Real wisdom, that real education that you need is hard to find. Scripture tell you what that education really is, the law. Go ahead, verse 27.
Verse 27, behold with your eyes how that I have had but little labor, and have gotten unto me much rest.
Behold with your eyes how that I have had but little labor, and have gotten unto me much rest. Read.
Get learning with a great sum of money, and get much gold by her.
By her. That's the thing about it. It's crazy. Get learning with a great sum of money, and get much gold by her. Read.
Let your soul rejoice his mercy, and be not ashamed of his praise.
Read.
Work your work betimes.
Hold on. This is a very important message right here. Work your work what?
Work your work betimes.
What does betimes mean? Somebody give me the definition.
It's the definition of betimes.
Uh-huh.
In good time, early, speedily, occasionally.
Hold on. Early. The prefix be. Yeah, exactly. Ahead of time. Work your work betimes, ahead of time. How many procrastinators I got in the house? Okay. The Bible says, work your work betimes. Betimes. And what?
Work your work betimes, and in his time he will give you your reward.
And in his time, he will give you your reward. That's supposed to be the mindset. Let me ahead of time do the things that I know I should be doing, the things that I need to do, the things that need to be done. Let me get them done. Matthew chapter 9. Chapter 9, verse 35 through 38. Chapter 9, verse 35 through 38.
The book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse 30 and verse 35. And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd.
Hold on, let's go back to 35 real quick. It says, and Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Gospel means the good news of the kingdom, right? The good news of the kingdom. What kingdom? It's crazy. In Israel, we don't get enough preaching of the kingdom. And it's tough for some of us to preach the kingdom because they haven't really taken into real consideration what that kingdom looks like and what it feels like and how it should operate.
Right.
They don't get it. They're not working towards it. Scripture say the kingdom of heaven is in you, and it comes not by observation. So it says, preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. So that was another thing. There was an effort to heal the people. A lot of times we ain't making a big enough effort to heal the people. We're sitting up here, we're being exposed to a lot that we knew once upon a time. Knowledge that was stripped from us that now we're being given again. And look how casual we are about it. We sit here and we complain and we complain. We complain about what we don't have and what we're trying to do. And how diligent are we with all of the things that we've been given, the things that we do have? We wait to the very last minute till we're on the verge of death to try to do something about things. And God forbid we do it for somebody else. We're more so focused on it when it happened to us. Nobody coming together to say, oh, we need to make sure we got our healing together. We need to make sure we got our understanding of these herbs and put it all together and, you know, start being a help to the body. Oh, this person is suffering from this. Let's talk. Let's have a consultation. Let's do this. These are the herbs. All right. We're not thinking like that yet. We need to get there. But this is what they were doing. This is, come on now. Verse 36.
Verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto his disciples.
When it says they were fainted, what do you think that means? Fainted. What happens when you faint? In the physical, you fall out, you lose consciousness. So in the spirit, what does that look like? People lose consciousness. They're without conscience. People out here without natural affection for one another, without consciousness of the Most High and awareness of the kingdom to come, and that they got a responsibility to do certain things in order to be able to what? To be accepted within those gates. It's real to you, probably, because you in here. How many of your loved ones do you know outside of here that it ain't real to, because they ain't here? They're not making the same efforts that, and some of us, we know we ain't even making the best effort. And they ain't making half of the effort that we making. That don't scare you. That somebody ought to be afraid. He says, but when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad. That's another thing. We keep saying it, but I don't think it's really sinking in enough. It's to our disadvantage to be all over the place. So-and-so and them live way over here. So-and-so and them live way over there. So-and-so and them live. Like, it's to our disadvantage. When you're scattered, anything can happen, and what do you have? You're going to be scrambling trying to get some help. See how that works? I was just looking at something recently, and I knew about it, but it just hit a little bit different, some of the things I was hearing. Y'all heard about Black Wall Street, right? Mm-hmm. Some people call it Negro Wall Street, Greenwood, guy by the name of O.W. Gurley, and what he did to sell his property and purchase 40 acres in which he utilized to build a whole community over the course of about a decade and a half, if I'm not mistaken, and how successful they were able to be before they got bombed. But they were able to create an acceptable society amongst themselves. They thrived. Absolutely, they thrived. If that's not one of the things that we're focused on, then what are we doing? Some of y'all, oh, but it's not even about that. It's about the spirit. Yeah, it's about the spirit. And the spirit of this book keeps trying to tell you and pull on your coattail and tell you what we should be doing. How in the world can an army move as an army when that army is dispersed and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth? Does that make any sense? Unless it's a situation where that army has dispatched certain individuals and certain teams into certain, but they all come from one central country, right? And before they even dispatch anybody, there has to be a what? Training. And what do they do to train their soldiers? How many of y'all are vets? Do they let you stay at home while you're going through your training? You get to kick it with your girlfriend, your wife, and your kids while you're training? Why?
No distractions.
Why? Might not be a distraction. It's a getaway, right? Let me kick it with my girl for the night. You can't do that? Why? Huh? Got to be focused. How focused are we? How complacent are we? It's a no big deal to us that we're scattered. It's no big deal. It's no big deal to us that we don't really have much collectively. It's no big deal to us. Think about it. It's no big deal to us. Read.
Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. It's a lot of harvest out there. It's a lot to be gotten. But the laborers, those that can actually do the work to gather the harvest, are few. Now, mind you, right above that, he says, when he saw the multitudes, he saw multitudes. Out of those multitudes, he said it's only a few. The laborers are few. It's crazy because you sit up here and you'll see a multitude of people, but how many people are actually working? How many are actually willing to put their hands to the plow and give their all? All praises. We got to start asking ourselves that question, like, okay, am I working hard enough? Am I really putting my hands to the plow? Look around you. Look around you. How hard are we working? I'm going to give y'all literally 30 seconds to talk real quick. Have a conversation with somebody. How hard are we working? All right. Raise your hand if whoever you talked to told you that we was working hard enough. Raise your hand if whoever you was talking to expressed that we ain't working hard enough. It's a lot of hands. It's a lot of hands. The harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Watch this. Read.
Pray ye therefore, the Lord of
Hold
harvest.
on. How many of y'all got a good prayer life? Okay. Raise your hand if you pray every day. Okay. Most of y'all, okay. Raise your hand if you pray more than one time a day. Okay. Raise your hand if you're praying for this. If you're praying that, therefore, that the Lord of the harvest, that he send forth laborers into his harvest. All praises. All praises. Add that to your prayer. Go from there. Go to the book of Mark. Mark chapter 4.
The book of Mark,
Chapter 4, start at verse 1.
chapter 4, verse 1. And he began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables, and he said unto them in his doctrine, Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. And it came to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on stony ground, where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. And other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and brought forth some 30, and some 60, and some 100, and some 100. And he said unto them, He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.
So now, this is a parable that he's speaking. Did y'all catch it? How many of you guys are familiar with this parable? Okay. So verse 3, it says, Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. And it came to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside. Some what? Some of the seeds. What's the wayside? And the fowls of the air came and did what? Devoured it up. They ate it. And some fell on stony ground, where it had not much earth. and immediately it sprang up. You ever seen something, a seed, and this, you know, it happens a lot. Like on, like, say, you ever seen a stump of a palm tree? They got little cracks, and they have a little bit of dirt in there. Seed be them fell in there, start growing up out of there. But it doesn't take good root. It doesn't, you know. So even though you see that thing growing up, it's got enough to grow, but it's not rooted, so you can easily just pluck it up. And some fell on stony ground where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. Because that's what happens. Sometimes you get things that you purpose to grow, and it grows amongst, what is a weed? Thank you. Say it again. Undesirable plant. Because a weed can be anything pretty much. It's whatever it is that happened to be there that started taking root there, that started growing amongst what you intended to grow, that's not supposed to be growing. And it's crazy because some of the things that we end up calling weeds, and we don't really know the value of it. And now we just now finding out in these recent years, in this last decade, like, oh, dandelion, it's got what? Oh, it's got these medicinal properties, and yeah. So, nevertheless, what tends to happen a lot of times, the thing that's undesirable, there's a level of resilience that it has because it wasn't even purposed to be there. But somehow, some way, it made its way there, and it got the opportunity to get some of the water that you put there, some of the plant food or whatever, and it started growing and thriving. And sometimes it'll continue to grow and thrive, and it'll compete with the plant that you're actually trying to grow, and it'll actually overtake that plant and take the nourishment. So that's why you got to do what? You got to pluck them up, uproot all the undesirable plants. Or else, guess what? You'll have done it for nothing, right? So then it says, verse 8, and other fell on good ground and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased and brought forth some 30, some 60, and some 100. Then he said, and said unto them, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Verse 10.
Verse 10, and when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable.
They wanted to know, what exactly are you talking about? Because some of them still didn't get it. They were like, okay, plants, but what exactly are you really talking about? Talking about plants, but I know you're talking about something different, right? But, you know, what you talking about? Go ahead.
And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables.
See, that's the thing. This is the thing you need to know. How many of y'all are struggling right now to try to make some money? Right now, a lot of hands. Okay? All you gotta do is pay attention to the book. Pay attention to the book. And he told you, he said, look, I'll give it to you plain. For everybody else, I give it to them in parables on purpose. It ain't meant for them to know it. So then he trying to, it's crazy because Esau do that with his people all the time. He give them the advantage. They know, they don't have, they make you go through it to try to get some basic information, but they gonna give it to their people straight out. As a matter of fact, they do one better than that. They teach their people as children. So by the time their children are 18, they already understand basic financial literacy that they purposely never teach you, but yet will shame you for getting C's, D's, and F's for miseducation. A lot of that stuff you just wasn't interested in because you had more sense as a child than you do as an adult. The stuff wasn't profitable for you. Y'all ain't like that. You ain't like that. Desire one, you know you wrong. Right, had me dying on that. It's one of the moments. Man, you had more sense as a child than you do as an adult. As a child, you realize, like, look, this stuff is for the birds. It got me learning all of this stuff for what reason? Esau, his kids are set up by the time he decide he want to do right. Hey, Edomites bragging to me, yeah, my son, he did time in the pen, and as soon as he decided he was heavily on drugs, and as soon as he decided he wanted to get his life right now, he's driving a Bugatti and he's doing this, and yeah. What happened when we get a record? What happened when you mess up your credit? What happened when you mess your money up and you lose all your money? Who's there to throw you a 100,000 while? Get you back, bail you out. Get you back on your feet. Throw you a loan with no interest. Who doing that for you? But we don't be feeling no kind of way about this. We be sitting up here mad at each other about nonsense, and we don't be mad that we literally live in a place where they openly show you that this system is rigged for you to lose and for your people to lose, literally. And then they laugh, they have a good time, because then they'll make it, they got to the point where they was like, make it available. They still ain't gonna do right. They make movies about it. I was sitting up there watching a movie with my wife called, what is it called? Your Honor? You watching that? Yeah. They'll show you how it worked. And you sit up here thinking it's a good show. That's a good show. Good show. Man, that show's so good. Telling you what really is done on a day-to-day basis. You be sitting up there watching First 48, can't wait till they catch him. Hoping they catch him. You feel like they're a danger to you. They might be in my community. These Edomites running your country. Ain't trying to bring the Edomites to justice. You just want to bring the ones that look like us to justice. He might see me at the liquor store. Boy, we gotta do better. It's one of the moments, man. I ain't even want to hoop and holler today. I just want to talk. Just talk to me sometimes. Just something just to think about. Look what we okay with. This is what we all right with. If I took y'all on a field trip right now and said, let's walk down the street, what would you see? This is what we okay with. This is what we okay with. Boy, y'all think we can do better than this? Go ahead and read.
Verse 12. That seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them.
See that? Goodness. A lot of our people, they hear it, and they like, that's a frustrating thing when you telling somebody something that's simple and they don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So they see it and they can't perceive it. Hear it and can't understand it. Verse 13.
And he said unto them, know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables?
He said, you don't know this parable? If you don't know this parable, how you going to know all the other parables? You can't get this. This is a simple one.
Right.
Read.
The sower soweth the word.
Uh-huh.
And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately, and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts.
He said, I'm gonna break it down in layman's terms. I'm gonna tell you what it is. He said, man, I'm surprised you couldn't figure this one out. You couldn't figure this one out. How you gonna figure out everything else? I said, this is simple right here. This ground zero right here. This is the basis of the story of Israel coming into the truth or not, or pump faking. Go ahead.
Verse 16, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward,
Hold on. We can't go over that one too fast. 16, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground. How many folks you done seen they were sown on stony ground? Watch this. Who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness. I know I'm an Israelite. And have no root in them, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth, for the word's sake, what they do? Immediately they are offended. I'm offended. This person. How in the world do you hear this and you talking about somebody else and ain't talking about yourself? When you hearing how you offended the Most High and that you deserving of all kind of death and eternal damnation, you got an opportunity to get your stuff together and get it right with the Most High. And the best you can do is say, I'm offended by this person. I'm offended by this. I'm offended by their behavior. But it happens all the time. Read. We're on 18.
and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word.
Some people sown amongst thorns. Some of them thorns be out there. Some of them thorns could be in here. Read.
And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in.
The cares of this world. Some of y'all care too much about your job. You care too much about your family. You care too much about your friends. You care too much about certain things that you shouldn't care enough. You shouldn't care about. Not only the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. There's a deceitfulness that comes with all of that. You trying to get the bag. You trying to be secure. All these different things, and there's a lot of deceitfulness that comes with that. And the lust of other things entering in. Read.
Choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
Choke the word. Boy, you have the word in you, all of a sudden it's getting choked out of you before you know it. I can't remember what the scriptures say. I gotta pay my rent. Then you get to saying stuff like, well, you gonna pay my rent? You gonna pay my bills? Well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go without? Do you think the Most High want me to go without? Some of y'all laughing because you done heard it before. Every excuse in the book. What I'm supposed to do. And it hit different when you go out the country. All praise be to the Most High. I had an opportunity to go out the country. We got True Nation in Ghana, True Nation in the Philippines, where they're not protected by law to be able to say, oh, I observe the Sabbath. They don't have that same protection. So they be having a real important decision to make. Either I work, feed my family and all of that, but I have to break the Sabbath, or I decide I'm going to stand for the Most High, and I say, I'm not working on the Sabbath, period. And the Most High provide a way for me. Boy, it's easy to clap when you're in America. How sold out are you for this truth and for the Most High, for the keeping of these commandments? It's real talk. Go ahead, read.
Verse 20. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100.
So now you got some that actually sown in good ground. They rooted and they start bringing forth fruit. A lot of times, they're the ones we don't even pay no attention to. We just feel like they automatic. Good for you. Go ahead, read.
And he said unto them, Is a candle brought to be put under a bushel or under a bed, and not to be set on a candlestick?
Is it? In other words, what? In other words, what should we be doing? What does a candlestick do to a candle? We should be upholding those that are a light to the nation, a light to the world. Why don't we do that enough? Huh? It's crazy because you're supposed to be called an Israel light. Scripture say ain't no light in you. If you ain't doing according to what this word say, it ain't no light in you. But when you do according to what this word says, okay, there's light in you. You're an Israelite. How come we don't put those lights at the forefront and uplift them so people can see? And try to get on that same level. We see people doing good and we be like, oh, good for them. Well, everybody ain't them. Raise your hand if you done heard that and it's true. Raise your hand if you done heard that in this body. Ooh. It shouldn't even be. Somebody say that you should calmly, personally, you ain't got to put in and do the extras in front of everybody. Don't go tell nobody. Just give them a good rebuking. Just give them a good rebuking. A one-on-one rebuke. They refuse to say, you know what, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be that light. I'm going to step up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they want to sit up there and talk about, oh, that's good for them. Oh, well, everybody ain't so-and-so. As soon as they tell you that, you better rebuke them hard. If I hear that you had a moment to rebuke them and you didn't rebuke them, I'm coming for you. I'm going to rebuke you. So that's what we should be doing. That's the problem. That's the problem. I'm beyond saying we gotta do better. Do better now. Don't make no excuses. Well, I was just waiting I just want to make it seem like it's genuine. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I was gonna get up early. I was gonna do the right thing. No, do it now. But if I do it now, it's like I'm doing it because you telling me. So what? Do it right now. Tell me I don't know Israel. Tell me that. Raise your hand if you know that's Israel, and you know it, because you. Do it now. Make the change now. Resist the devil now. Go ahead and read.
22. For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. And he said unto them, Take heed what ye hear. With what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you, and unto you that hear shall more be given.
So hold on. Take heed what ye hear. With what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you, and to you that hear shall more be given. What's so crazy about it is, the scripture tell you that outright. Another way of saying that is what you know, you get what you sow is what you reap. You get whatever you put out, that's what you're gonna get back. So when you, man, absolutely. So when you hear this, and then you look at your life, and you see what you got, are you real enough with yourself to say, yeah, it's about what I put out? Y'all be making me feel like I got some bad jokes. Man. Y'all should see the faces when I say certain stuff, boy. When you look at your life and look at your bank account and look at your list of friends, look at your social life, is it not a reflection of what you put out? Your social media probably the thing that's popping more than anything else because you put the most into that. That's what, social media is popping because but your finances ain't popping. Your marriage ain't popping because what? I'm gonna make somebody turn some stones today. You might not be putting in enough into your marriage, putting enough into your kids. You putting enough into your kids. What are you investing? What are you putting in? Because you're gonna get what you put in. Believe it or not, like old folks used to say, you're gonna find out that fat meat is what? All right. Think it ain't all you want. Keep on thinking it. But you gonna find out. You gonna find out. I don't know why we think we gonna. Israel, man, you know one thing I learned about Israel, and they show it in the movies, we always think somehow, some way we gonna get over. It's like a disease amongst us. We think somehow, some way we gonna cheat the system. Raise your hand if you know it's true. The majority of the people you've been around in your life, even if it ain't you, some of y'all is you, and you just tell the truth and shame the devil. Israel somehow think they always gonna find a way to cheat the system, somehow. We sitting up here, sure as we sitting up here right now, y'all know, how many years I done asked the same question, how many of y'all know y'all ain't doing everything you should be doing? Oh, and you still ain't changed? You think you gonna beat the system? Who can you be mad at on that day? Who can you be mad at? Some of y'all, you know, the shameful part is some of y'all gonna be walking away talking about, I can't blame nobody but me. Not understanding the severity of the consequences that you're about to face. Well, I did my best. Boy, God, dog. Boy, that ought to make you scared. That ought to make your heart jump. That's Israel. Well, I don't know what else I could have did. It become easier and easier every year to understand what the Most High, like how he gonna be able to slaughter the people he gonna be able to slaughter. Cause I see the attitudes, I see the lack of care, the disregard, the lack of consideration. Well, man, that's scary. And it's so crazy. We be sitting up there crying for our babies. I want them to be righteous, but you refuse to be righteous. You refuse to be you know how hypocritical you are. You want your kids to be upright and perfect, but you refuse to be perfect. You refuse to attempt to be perfect. And will not let it touch you that you are responsible for their failure. Won't let it touch you. Somebody be mad today. I don't care. I gotta tell you the truth, or else I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble. I gotta tell the message, even when it hurt me. I gotta tell it. Man. Shh, the time is now. Change. Start before you change. Start by changing your face. Boy, I'm telling bad jokes. Go ahead and read.
Verse 25, for he that hath, to him shall be given, and he that hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he hath.
Most High said, I'm going to roll with the ones that's been rolling with me. I'm going to give him the world. Well, what about this one? He ain't got nothing because he don't deserve nothing. He didn't want nothing. He ain't want nothing all of these 20 years he been in the truth. So I'm going to give it to this. They only been here a year. Give it to them. And this year they done did more than... Goodness. Read.
And he said, so is the kingdom of God, as if a man should cast seed into the ground, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up, he knoweth not how. For the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full of corn in the ear.
Hold on, y'all ain't catch that. Get to reading and y'all ain't even paying no attention. 26, one more time.
26, and he said, so is the kingdom of the Most High God.
So is the kingdom of the Most High God, the kingdom of God, the kingdom of Yahweh. Watch this, read.
As if a man should cast seed into the ground, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up, he knoweth not how. Continue. For the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear.
Go ahead.
But when the fruit is brought forth, immediately he putteth it in the sickle, because the harvest is come.
What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Huh? You said ace? Ace? What are we talking about here? Let me see. This is a test. This is the test of your life right here. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? From 26 to 29, what are we talking about? Children? Not quite the children. What are we talking about? What's that? Not quite. What are we talking about? Huh? Process of what? Of what? Of the circuit? Say it more clearly, more plainly. Who gonna help? Who gonna help the elder out? Boy, y'all got y'all hands tucked up under y'all thighs, man. Who gonna help the elder out? Yeah. Huh? Not quite. Not quite. Think about it. What are we talking about? Think about it. All right. Y'all ready? I'm gonna help you out. Or you want to give it a try? Go ahead. Okay, you about there. You right there. So 26 to 29, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? For the sake of time, because I ain't got that much time, I'm just going to explain it. All right, so this is what it's saying. It's just telling you what pretty much anything that you want to think about and deal with, this is what you got to do. This is how it works. This is the function of it. So is the kingdom of God, as if a man should cast seed into the ground and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up, he knoweth not how. For the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear. So it's not some miraculous thing that he's talking about. He's just saying this is the process of everything. But we live life and we go through things, even especially in the spirit, as if this is not plain and simple. Yeah. Get seed, plant seed, even marriages. Husbandmen. That's where you get husband from. As simple as it is, why does it seem to be so complicated? Why do you got all these marriages that struggle? Go ahead. So basically, almost everything that you're going through in life, this is the process. You're going to reap what you sow. That's what they're saying at the end of the day. You're going to reap what you sow. So what are you sowing? If you're not sowing, how are you expecting to reap? How often are we expecting to reap when we haven't sown? Think about it. Go from there. Go to St. John. St. John chapter 4. St. John chapter 4, and let's get verse 31 through 38.
The book of John, chapter 4, verse 31. In the meanwhile, his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. Therefore said the disciples one to another, Hath any man brought him aught to eat? Yahushua saith unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you.
Hold on. So a lot of y'all done missed that. So Yahushua saith unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. That's my meat. Meat meaning food. Food is something that you do what? You use to fuel you. You consume it so that it can fuel you, right? To keep you going. So when he makes a statement in verse 34, my meat or my food is to do the will of him that sent me. What is he saying? Doing the work is what keep me going. When you're in a situation where it's not the work that keep you going, you're in a dangerous place. You need to reevaluate your walk. When you're in a place where you complaining and you focus on everything but the work, you need to reevaluate your walk. That's what he's saying. every week, every day, you getting a chance to do the work should be feeding you. That should be keeping you going. That's what keeps me going. Some people might say, because it's crazy, it was like, man, you need to take some time off teaching and stuff. I said, man, that keep me going. Helping the people dealing with that keep me going. Showing up for the youth, that keep me going. Doing this music, that keep me going. Studying so that I can give a lesson that's worth listening to, that keep me going. But have you found the work that's keeping you going? Or you keep going through conversations that sound like podcasts? Verse 35.
Verse 35. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest.
You know what that means? Our people be doing that all the time. Remember he said be times, right? We sitting up here talking about, I got 4 more months. And then I get out there. Everything ain't even up yet. It'll be there. I get it in 4 months. I got 4 more months. He said, man, this stuff that's ready right now. I want you to go out there and pick it. It's a day-to-day thing, man. It's a day-to-day thing. A lot of y'all want to wait until right before. You want to wait till he come and then talk about, let me get some oil. Go out there and pick right now. It's stuff that you can do right now. It's work to be done right now. There are things to be gathered right now. So you be sitting up here like, oh, it ain't nothing to do. Are you looking at the same thing that I'm looking at? Harvest is plenteous, but the labors are few. Don't nobody want to work. Don't nobody get full off the works. All praises. Verse 36.
And he that reapeth receiveth wages. And he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal.
See, that's the thing. Because you don't get a paycheck from your boss for doing this work, you don't feel compensated. He said, but you getting life eternal. That's the kind of wages you get. You getting something that, man, what's your spiritual bank account look like? Some of y'all can't buy a carton of milk with your spiritual bank account. And the Most High give EBT in the spirit. Some of y'all, you got EBT. You ain't even got enough EBT to get a decent meal. Go ahead and read.
It reads, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together.
And that's the thing. Not only the person that's reaping, but the person that's actually sowing ought to be rejoicing. We ought to be happy that we helping one another. How come it's so hard for us to have that spirit? We don't want to see nobody else get money if it ain't us getting money. You ought to be happy your brother getting money. The bootleg Jews and everybody else, they know they ain't winning unless everybody in the community winning. Gotta make sure everybody winning. Yes, sir. Takes a village. Absolutely. Takes a village. Huh. Okay. Okay, all praise, appreciate you. Go ahead, read.
Verse 37. And herein is that saying true. One soweth and another reapeth.
One soweth and another reapeth. Go ahead.
I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other men labored.
So the Most High let you know. He said, I didn't let you play. All you have to do is pick it up. Somebody else already did the work for you. Somebody did the work for you. So don't be acting funky when you done did some work and somebody else reaped the benefits. You just paying it forward. That's right. What you mad about? We spend so much time not working talking about who else ain't working and what somebody don't deserve. So, man, There's a lot of lazy people here. Oh my God. Oh, she just spent half of the time that we could have been working talking about other people. Shut up and get to work. Read.
I sent you to reap that whereon he bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors.
Other men are labored and you're entered into their labors, meaning you're not the first one, man. You building on something that somebody else had already started building. You working in the field where other people have already worked. So don't stop acting like you so special. And you having your Elijah moment. Oh, I'm the only one left. It's just me. He said, knock it off. I got 7,000 others. You special, but you ain't that special. Proverbs 10 and 5. Boy, summertime is that time, man. What you doing in the summertime? A lot of y'all planning your vacations. Summertime, I'm gonna rest. Proverbs 10 and 5.
The book of Proverbs 10 and verse 5. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son.
He that do what in the summer?
Gathereth in summer is a wise son.
He that gathereth in summer is a wise son. You can take that in two ways. Just the outright physicality of what it's talking about. Because talking about, the similitude is the field itself. Those that actually go to the field and work, put in that work and gather. So that's a wise son because you're going to have something to show for that when the winter comes. But here's another thing. He that gathereth in the summer is a wise son. When we talk about gathering, what are we talking about? Remember he said the harvest is plenteous, but pray what? Okay, more labors to the harvest, right? What's the harvest? Who we harvesting? Told you in the parable of the seeds. Kind of fruits you going out to get. He that gathereth in the summer, guess what? It's summertime now. So what should we be doing? Chilling? It's time to do what? I didn't go into all of that, but you got some of the best fruit in the what? Summer. They call it summer fruit. Some of the best fruit for you, superfoods, growing in the summertime. You need to go out there and pick that fruit. It's ain't waiting to be picked. We got to go and get them in here. That's what time it is right now. Go ahead, read. Is that all of that? Verse 5?
But he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame.
Man, we can't sleep in the summertime. You sleep, man, you going to cause shame. Quit sleeping, man. It's time to get to work. It's time to gather. All this talk. Proverbs chapter 6. A lot of y'all don't see opportunities when you got them. What we doing this summer? See if anybody thinking. Huh? Somebody said it. What kind of opportunity is that? See how many of y'all thinking. Major opportunities there. All right, let's see how we going to execute. Watch this, Proverbs chapter 6. I want 6 through 11. Watch this real quick.
6 and 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
Said if you're lazy, go look at the ant, man. You can learn something. Consider her ways and be wise. Read.
Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler.
Because some of y'all, you only work good when you got a boss and you can clock in. That's the only time you really willing to work. You ain't getting up unless somebody done put on a schedule a time for you to be at work and clock in. That's the only way you getting up. If you ain't got something on the schedule, somebody threatening you, then you ain't gonna get up. Say it ain't so. I'm just telling you the truth, man. The ant said, having no guide, overseer, or ruler. I'll work. I just know work. All I know is work. I don't know organizing. When I pick up a doggone pen and a pad, or actually open up notes on your phone and actually start writing and typing, plan, organize, and then work. I just rather clock in. You got a slave mentality. You want to be a boss, but you want to work as a slave and be told what to do, and think that you basically take on less responsibility, but you want the benefits of a boss. But you don't want to work to be the boss. How much of that are we seeing in Israel?
Too much. Sense of entitlement.
Seeing a lot of that. Sometimes we see that when we look in the mirror. We got to make some changes. Yeah, we got to make some changes. Go ahead, read.
Provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest.
The ant provided her meat, her food in the summer, and what?
And gathereth her food in the harvest.
So that's what time it is, man. That's what time it is. It's not time for us to be vacating. It's time for us to get to work. Go ahead, read.
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
And what time you getting up in the morning? We got to do better. We got to do better. I know and I'm going to tell on myself, I developed bad habits, man, for years. Not going to sleep at a good time. I had some issues, some health issues, but now, guess what, man? I'm blessed, man. Most High done gave me an opportunity to recover. We got to start setting some guidelines. We gotta start setting some guidelines so that we can be more productive, not only as individuals, but also as a nation, as an organization, as a body. We got to get more stuff done. You should definitely have your own personal checklist for your own self, your own business, your own household. But you also ought to have a True Nation checklist. How many of y'all agree with me? Come on, let's make it happen. Go ahead, read.
Yet a little sleep and a little slumber, and a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth.
Hold on. Where that poverty come from? It came out of nowhere. What came before that poverty?
Yet a little sleep and a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep.
See, yeah. You spending all this time sleeping, then you ain't productive. A little bit of sleep here, a little bit of sleep there. That's the thing. Be in a situation, you falling asleep all day long, you burnt out. You got to correct that. You got to get it right. Because it impacts your day. It impacts your day. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. That's a cold similitude. Your want is gonna come as an armed man. It ain't gonna be pretty, bro. Out of nowhere. Hold you hostage. Go from there. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Ecclesiasticus. Sirach. Hey, by next summer, what are things gonna look like for this body?
Blessed.
Don't say nothing unless you mean it, because I'm gonna hold you to it.
Abundance.
What are things going to look like?
Bountiful.
Go ahead. Most High willing for sure. What else?
Better spirits.
Huh? More sheep. All praises.
Better
Righteous
spirits.
marriages.
Worse, better spirits. All praises. What we looking like? What do you say? But more discipline.
Discipline.
All praises. Definitely need that. What else? Huh? More profitable in what ways? All praises. More money, more men. All praises. All praises. I'm gonna be looking at y'all. I'm gonna say y'all said 7 and 15. Watch this.
Because
This
Verse
what the
15.
This what the Bible say, not to Zion, but to Zion echo it because the Bible say it. Read.
Verse 15. Hate not laborious work.
What is laborious work? The root word in laborious is labor, hard work. Hate not work when you really got to put some real work in. Yeah, that blue collar work. Don't hate it. Don't hate hard work. Neither what?
Neither husbandry.
Neither husbandry. And it's crazy, man. My father's been an excellent example. And he even got a little something, just decided he was going to do a little bitty something in his backyard. I'm looking at it. I see I see how he be cutting on that tree. That tree, man, it look like, man, he done cut that thing to smithereens. And before you know it, you look up, that thing be about that tall again, as high as the ceiling. You start learning things, the importance of pruning and, you know, seeing them growing stuff, tomatoes and cabbages and, you know, and there is a newfound respect that you begin to get when you see things from the very first stage of planting it, the day-to-day that goes into making sure that you're maintaining it, and then seeing the fruits of your labor. That's what a lot of us are missing, honestly. So remember, I kept on asking 26 to 29, what is that? That's what's missing. It's a lot of us, it don't register for us because we didn't grow up in the fields. Maybe it's time to get back in the field so that we can understand it on a spiritual level of what it's going to take. There's a disconnect. How many of y'all think that's fair and that makes sense? There's somewhat of a disconnect. I believe it. We can spend more time in the fields for sure. Definitely this summer, I hope these kids find a way to spend more time in the field. You need to see something growing. Be responsible for growing something or helping something grow. It might change your life. Go ahead and read that one more time.
It says, hate not laborious work, neither
He
husbandry.
said, don't hate husbandry. Husbandry is doing that. Crops and animals. He said, don't hate that. You learn from that. The Most High deals with that throughout because before we became this society that we are today, we've always had to grow our food. You know, grocery stores, once upon a time, there was no such thing as a grocery store, especially not a supermarket. Remember, these are not just markets. They had markets once upon a time back in the days, but they weren't supermarkets. Most times, you needed you a chicken or some eggs, you better go to the backyard. That's what it was. So the Most High have ordained laborious work in husbandry. Don't forget that. Go to James chapter 5. That's been a disconnect. You want to figure out how to better educate. Some of y'all trying to figure out, Tila, how we going to do it? How we going to do it? Let's get them in the field. Yeah, you can finish it off.
Hate not laborious work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained.
He's ordained that. Let's get reconnected. James chapter 5, let's get 7 and 8.
The book of James, chapter 5, and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Be patient, therefore, brethren. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain.
Who the husbandman? Same as the husband. Who is he? Somebody said it. What fruit he waiting on? I'm gonna give you one better than that. He waiting to see the fruits of the spirit in you. You represent the tree. He waiting for the fruit of the spirit in you. Remember what happened when he looked on the tree and there wasn't no figs, there wasn't no fruit. What'd he do? Some of y'all so hesitant about displaying the fruits of the spirit. What's the fruit? Y'all forgot. Kids, what's the fruits of the spirit? Thank Miss Kanai for that one. One more time. And do it slow for the adults because they don't know. All right, one more time. Fruits of the Spirit. Question. Do it one more time for me and count them this time. How many is it? It's 9. Now, as they say them this time, I want y'all to put your finger up for every one that you got. And then at the end, hold up your hands and see how many you got of the 9. Go ahead. Kids, y'all just say them. The adults got to do the fingers. Go ahead. Do y'all got all of them? Don't say you got them and you ain't got them. Somebody gonna call you out on it and be like, you got what? I said the husband been waiting to see the fruit. How long you gonna make him wait? Or he just gonna give up on you and wait for another tree? All right, we're gonna see. Go ahead. Was that all of that? 7, verse 8.
Verse 8. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
Man, it ain't gonna be long, man. While we sitting up here acting like we got forever in the day, it's not gonna be long. The writing is on the wall. Y'all done got so comfortable. They talking about nuclear war right now. Y'all so comfortable. They talking about nuclear war, and you just on your same daily routine. You ain't tripping. What is it gonna take to shake you up? For real. They have them every day. Proverbs 20:4, but they just don't be big enough. See, the Most High, like the children of Israel, we like, man, we done seen everything. That earthquake wasn't big enough. Some of y'all want to see a major earthquake, huh? Raise your hand if you can't wait for a major earthquake. You want a major earthquake. Hey, raise your hand if a major earthquake will make you get your attitude right. Said, I ain't going to get right until something bad happens.
It's crazy.
Proverbs 20:4, and then I got one more after that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold.
Goodness. Excuses. Read it one more time.
The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold.
See, is that you? It's too cold to go out there and plow and prepare things. It's a cold world. Yes, sir. All praises. Check this out. Read it one more time.
Verse 4, the sluggard.
Sluggard is what? The lazy person. Go ahead.
The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold, therefore shall he beg in the harvest and have nothing.
You're going to be begging. If you don't go and handle your business, you're going to be begging. And you're going to be left with nothing. Get that last one. What you want, Yash?
The book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
This ain't your rest, man. Quit acting like this your rest. It's time to work. This ain't time to be doing all this resting. But it's a Sabbath day. I'm supposed to rest on the Sabbath. Get you a little bit of rest. It's complimentary. But it's a lot of work to be done. Not your own work. But the work of the Most High, the work gathering, helping to gather the lost sheep and to get them right. Exhort the people. We got to take on that mindset, man. It's summertime. That means it's hard. It's the heart of the harvest. It's time to get busy. All praise be to the Heavenly Father.
It's Mix, y'all.